Hare Krishna, Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're going to discuss part 5 of Vegetarianism in the Bible. And last week we discussed part 4, Thou Shalt Not Kill, the 6th of the 10 Commandments. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you have not seen it, please have a look back at it and tell me what you think. So today we're going to discuss about the word that is translated for meat, interpretive problems. We're going to see if and when the word meat was translated and what it was translated from, and is the actual word supposed to be meat or something else. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, rate and share, subscribe. Thank you very much. Perhaps the main reason a Christian would transgress the law in spite of the biblical command to refrain from killing is the widespread Christian belief that Jesus was a carnivore. Yet Jesus was known as the Prince of Peace, and his teachings include love, compassion, and mutual respect on a universal level. It is difficult to reconcile the supremely pacifist image of Jesus with a sanctioning of killing animals. Yet the New Testament time and time cites examples of Jesus asking for meat, which meat eaters have taken as a sanction for their own dietary preference. However, a close study of the original Greek reveals that Jesus did not actually ask for meat. Although English translations of the Gospel mention meat 19 times, the original words translate more accurately into food. Broma, food, used 4 times. Brosimos, that which may be eaten, used once. Brosis, food or the act of eating, used 4 times. Prosphagion, anything to eat, used once. Trophy, nourishment, used 6 times. Phago, to eat, used 3 times. Thus, have ye any meat, John 21:5, should read, have ye anything to eat. And when the Gospel says that the disciples went away to buy meat, John 4:8, a more literal translation would simply indicate that they went off to buy food. In each case, the original Greek points to food in general and not necessarily meat. The problem comes down to interpretation of original material, translations, and often mistranslations. Many biblical mistranslations are inconsequential or even amusing, but some have more important ramifications. And in the case where an incorrect version has come down through the centuries, it has become part of the biblical canon. Advocates of eating flesh can rationalize it by quotes or misquotes from the Bible, but if the context and tenor of the life of Jesus are taken into account, it becomes hard, if not impossible, to reconcile meat eating with the Christian faith. Meat-eating Christians challenge: if the Bible encourages vegetarians or vegetarianism, then what about the incident of the loaves and the fishes? Some biblical exegesis, taking Jesus' compassionate nature into account, suggest that the fish were little rolls, or a kind of still eaten today, made from a submarine plant known as the fish plant, which grows in the East. Those soft fish plants are dried in the sun, grounded into flour in a mortar, and baked in rolls. Fish plant rolls were an integral part of the ancient Babylonian diet, and many Japanese too considered them a great delight. The Muslims recommend that the faithful eat them, and most important, they were a popular delicacy in Jesus' time. Then, too, there is a practical matter to be considered. In a basket also containing bread, there would more likely to be rolls than fish, which would spoil rapidly in hot weather and ruin any other food in the basket. It is also possible that bread and fish had a symbolic rather than literal sense, not unusual in sacred writings. Bread is a symbol of Christ's body, or the divine substance, and fish was a password in the early church when the Christians had to conceal their identity to avoid persecution. The letters of the Greek word for fish, ICHTHUS, are also the initial letters of the Isousios Christos thou Usios Soter, Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. Thus the fish assumed a mystical symbolism in Christianity, and its use can be seen on the walls of Roman catacombs. Most importantly, there is no reference to fish in the earliest New Testament manuscripts. The miracle is described as bread and fruit, not loaves and fish. It was the later Bible manuscripts, after the 4th century, that list fish instead of fruit. The Codex Sinaiticus is the earliest edition of the New Testament to mention fish as part of that miracle. Still, there are those who cannot dispense with the traditional example of the loaves and the fishes. For example, it should be noted that even if Jesus ate fish, he offered no sanction for others to do so in his name. Jesus lived among and preached to fishermen. As a teacher, he had to consider his audience and circumstances. Thus he told his disciples to throw down their fishing nets and instead to become fishers of men, or preachers. Still, those who speak of Jesus eating fish say, Jesus did this, so why can't I? But when we consider how Jesus gave his early life to preaching the glories of God, few are enthusiastic to follow his example.